the young and the restless spoilers. Welcome back to our channel, fellow Y&R addicts. Today's a beautiful day to dive into the absolute madness that just unfolded on our screens. Grab your coffee, your tea, or maybe something stronger, because we have so much to unpack today, and I am literally shaking with excitement. Let's get right into it. I cannot believe they actually went there. I am literally typing this at 2 a.m. because my brain is completely fried after watching what Jack Abbott just did, and I need to get this out of my system before I explode. I mean, we all knew Jack was desperate. We all knew he was losing his mind over Diane being missing. But this Jack Abbott, the pristine, moral, high ground loving CEO of Jabot, just went full-blown mob boss, and I am absolutely losing my mind over it. React first, explain later, right? Okay. So Jack literally kidnapped Patty Williams. He kidnapped her, tied her up, and used her as a human shield to get his wife back. I am screaming. I've been watching this show since 2015, and I have seen Jack do some morally questionable things when his back was against the wall, but he has never gone this dark. This is Victor Newman territory. This is something Adam would do on a Tuesday. But Jack, and let's just back up for a second and talk about how we even got here, because the build-up to this moment has been agonizing. Jack was completely out of options. He knew Dr. Lawrence Markham was holding Diane hostage. He saw that sick, twisted, staged photo of Diane unconscious in a white padded cell that Patty shoved in his face. And Patty, being the absolute delusional psychopath that she is, was actually blackmailing him for sex. She wanted him to recreate the magic they had on the yacht. I mean, I actually felt physically sick watching her try to force Jack into bed while holding his wife's life over his head. But Jack couldn't just call the cops. We already saw how useless Detective Burrow was being, asking if Diane just ran off on her own. Because, of course, the Genoa City Police Department is about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. Jack knew that if he went to the authorities, Markham and Patty would just move Diane, or worse, drug her into a permanent coma. He was totally cornered. So what does our golden boy Jack do? The light bulb goes off. He realizes something crucial about the dynamic between Patty and this creepy doctor, Markham. They have a bond. They are close. You don't just help a woman orchestrate a fake mental breakdown and hold a prominent socialite hostage unless you are deeply, deeply entangled with them. Jack figured out that Markham and Patty would never abandon each other. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about that connection for a second. Am I the only one who is 100% convinced that Dr. Markham is actually Martin Laurent with a surgically altered face? I mean, think about it. Patty has a history of using plastic surgery to steal identities. Remember when she made herself look exactly like Dr. Emily Peterson? And Diane found books by Dr. Alan Laurent on the shelf in her barred room. It all connects. If Markham is Martin, then it makes perfect sense why he is so fiercely loyal to Patty. You probably helped him escape and get a new face. Okay, back to the point. Jack realizes this twisted loyalty is his only leverage. So he snaps. The man just completely breaks. He ambushes Patty, overpowers her, and literally ties her up. Can we just pause and appreciate the sheer insanity of this scene? Jack Abbott, in his tailored suit, aggressively binding Patty Williams with whatever he could find. I can only imagine what was going through Patty's delusional mind. Knowing her, She probably thought it was some kind of twisted foreplay at first before she realized Jack was dead serious and looking at her with pure, unadulterated hatred, because he didn't just tie her up. He dragged her to Markham's house. He hauled her right up to the front door of that creepy barred window prison where Diane was being held, and he demanded a hostage exchange. And he didn't just ask nicely. Jack looked Markham dead in the eye and threatened to kill Patty if he didn't hand over Diane. He threatened to murder her. I know some people are loving this dark, ruthless Jack, but personally, wait, no, I actually love it too. I am so here for it. For years, Jack has played the victim. He's let Victor walk all over him. He's let Patty poison his granddaughter Summer. He's let people manipulate his family, but not today. Today, Jack Abbott woke up and chose violence, and it was the most satisfying character development I've seen in a decade. And the look on Markham's face, oh my God, the absolute sheer panic. Markham is used to being the smartest guy in the room, the smug psychiatrist who gaslights women and plays God. But when he saw Jack holding Patty hostage, looking like a man who had absolutely nothing left to lose, Markham folded. He realized Jack wasn't playing a corporate game anymore. Jack was operating on primal, husband-protecting instinct. Markham knew that if he pushed Jack 1 inch further, Patty was going to die right there on his doorstep. So Markham agrees to the exchange. The tension in this scene was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Imagine the visual. Diane, who has been trapped in this house, clutching a letter opener for days, terrified and confused, finally seeing the front door open. And there is her husband, her knight in shining armor, but he's not holding flowers. He's holding a bound and gagged Patty Williams. The psychological weight of that moment for Diane must have been staggering. She already has so much trauma from her past, from faking her own death, from the constant attacks by Phyllis and Nikki, and now she sees Jack crossing a line he has never crossed, just for her. It was twistedly romantic in a very messed up soap opera kind of way. I mean, find yourself a man who will commit multiple felonies just to get you out of a fake psychiatric hole, right? They do the swap. Diane runs to Jack, collapsing into his arms, finally safe. Patty is shoved toward Markham. For a split second, you think it's over. You think Jack is just going to grab Diane, run to his car, and speed off into the night. You think they're going to go back to the Abbott mansion and call Michael Baldwin to figure out the legal mess. But no, oh no, because the second the exchange is complete, the second Diane is out of Markham's immediate reach, all hell breaks loose. A massive brawl erupts. I'm talking a full-on, bare-knuckle, screaming, furniture-smashing war. Jack didn't just want Diane back. He wanted blood. He wanted to make Markham pay for touching his wife. And Markham, realizing he had just lost his leverage and that his entire criminal enterprise was about to be exposed, fought back like a cornered rat. I was literally screaming at my television. Jack throwing punches, Markham scrambling, Patty probably shrieking in the background, trying to untie herself or join the fight. It was absolute chaos. It was raw, messy, and so incredibly cathartic. After weeks of watching Diane suffer in that room, after watching Patty smugly blackmail Jack, we finally got the explosive payoff we deserved. But wait, let's really deep dive into what this means for the future of the show, because I am terrified and thrilled all at once. Jack crossed a massive legal and moral line here. Kidnapping is a federal offense. Hostage-taking, making death threats. Jack is literally on tape, metaphorical tape, acting like a domestic terrorist. What happens when the dust settles? I mean, I know Genoa City has a very flexible justice system. We all know Victor Newman commits a felony before breakfast and never sees the inside of a cell. Speaking of Victor, can we just acknowledge the parallel here? While Jack is out here aggressively kidnapping people to save his wife, Victor is currently drugging Nikki and stealing her company out from under her while she thinks she's dying. The contrast between the Abbott patriarch committing crimes to save his wife and the Newman patriarch committing crimes to destroy his wife is absolute cinematic poetry. The writers are actually cooking right now. But seriously, what is Jack's defense going to be if Christine Blair or the new DA gets a hold of this? Yes, Your Honor, I kidnapped Patty, but she was blackmailing me for sex. It's going to be a media circus. Kyle is going to lose his mind when he finds out what his dad did. Summer's going to be horrified that her grandfather kidnapped the woman who poisoned her. And what about Phyllis and Sharon? Remember the spoilers saying they might get involved in rescuing Diane because of their shared trauma with Martin Laurent? I am kind of bummed they didn't get to be the ones to kick down the door, but maybe they will be the ones to expose Markham's true identity as Martin after this brawl is over. If Markham gets arrested after this fight and they run his fingerprints and it turns out he is Martin Laurent, the fallout is going to be nuclear. Sharon is already having a mental breakdown over Matt Clark living at the ranch. If she finds out Martin is back too, she might actually snap. Sometimes I contradict myself because I want Jack to get away with this scotangent free because he did it for love, but at the same time, I want the drama of Jack being arrested and having to fight for his freedom. Imagine Jack in a jail cell trying to run Jabot while Diane has to step up and be the ruthless matriarch to protect his legacy. I am SO here for that era of Diane Jenkins Abbott. I know some people on the forums are going to complain. They're going to say, this is out of character for Jack, or the pacing was too fast. But honestly, shut up. This is the exact kind of high-stakes, adrenaline-pumping, unhinged soap opera drama we have been begging for. We have suffered through so many boring boardroom meetings and repetitive arguments at society. Give me hostage exchanges. Give me kidnappings. Give me billionaires throwing hands in a creepy doctor's living room. I am still shaking. My heart is beating so fast. I'm going to have to rewatch this episode tomorrow when I'm calmer to catch all the little facial expressions, especially Diane's face when she saw Jack holding Patty. The trauma bonding between Jack and Diane after this is going to be off the charts. They are either going to be stronger than ever, or this level of darkness is going to slowly tear them apart, because Diane will realize Jack is capable of true monstrosity. I mean, think about it. If Jack is willing to kidnap and threaten to murder a woman to get what he wants, how is he any different from Victor? That's the question Jack is going to have to look in the mirror and answer. And I don't think he's going to like what he sees. Okay, I need to breathe. I need to go read the group chats and see if everyone else is losing their minds as much as I am. Let me know what you guys thought of this insane episode. Was Jack justified? Is Markham actually Martin? Will Patty ever end up in a real, secure prison? Drop your thoughts, because I am going to be obsessing over this until the next episode.